I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Kelly, and we are back with another video. If you guys are new to the channel and you enjoy true crime stories, news, politics, and so much more, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys. I really would appreciate it. And if you are a returning listener, subscriber, well, thank you guys, as always, for being a friend. I really appreciate y'all, and please like the video if you like it. Give me a comment, whatever you can do. It really does help me out, and it's a free way to do so. And I thank everyone in advance for watching this video.
You know the thing.
So let's get right into it. Okay, what's up, people? So let's just jump right on into it. We have a debate coming up in 2 days. It is the first presidential debate of this election season. A few days ago, something happened that really just kind of let the wind out of my sails, and so I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about it, see what you guys think. We're going to talk about Trump's most recent comments that have really kind of fucking rubbed his base the wrong way. Not gonna lie. And I'm the base. I'm one of them. So I can speak from experience. And then, we're obviously going to have to talk about, if we're going to talk about Donald Trump's flaws, I mean, Joe Biden has a dime a dozen, like one bad thing about Trump, there's 12 about Biden. So it wouldn't be proper if we didn't talk about Biden's most recent gaffes. I feel like I haven't, covered any of that recently, because I've been trying to let the dementia patient, alone. It's not right for me to, talk about an old man like that. But today, we're going to get down in the dirt and we're going to talk about it because there's just too much going on. And I really am starting to get black-pilled in a way. But I'm hoping that, some turnaround is going to happen. Some crazy 5D chess move is coming from Donald Trump. I still have hope for it, but it's hard to really get back on that train. But one good thing is that, if you guys haven't heard, Julian Assange is now free. And a lot of people on Twitter are divided over this. I can't understand why people who are on Twitter are calling him a traitor and all this and that. Y'all are fucking weird. Okay. Someone's not a traitor if they expose the corrupt and disgusting, low-down, dirty deeds of the United States government, because there's a lot there, okay? And I for one want to know what the hell they're up to. We're going to start off with Trump's most recent comments, and if you guys haven't heard about this, well, it's really, I hate talking about this, because this is probably one of the biggest betrayals I feel like he has done. This is worse than him pushing the vaccine, in my opinion, because this is the ultimate betrayal, and I really hate to see it, and I really hate to even bring it to the forefront, because at this point it's do you not vote? Do you, obviously I would never vote for Biden ever. I mean, I would sooner die, but it's oh, why did he have to do this? So I want to show you guys the clip if you haven't seen it. Immigration is one of my number one things, if not the number one thing, for me, as far as politics go. I think that curving the immigration problem and getting a hold of that and really making that right again is the number one issue that we face here in America. I mean, there's the economy, of course, we need to get back on track. There's plenty of other things that are very, very important as well. But I think long term, if we don't fix what's going on with our immigration, we're all cooked. Okay, so let's jump into his comments. I can't stall any longer. It pains me to watch this. So I don't exactly know about this podcast, this quote unquote all in podcast. It looks to me like a group of 4 dumb fucks, rich ass circle jerking bitch boys who talk about finance or something. I don't fucking know. It looks like a real snooze fest. But Donald Trump appeared on this podcast. Apparently, I'm sure they're all important donors and shit like that. Ugh, I don't know. Give me a fucking break. Oh God, I just don't want. I'm trying not to badmouth and really let my frustrations out with Trump too much, because it's I'm holding out hope. You know, I'm gonna reserve my most intense criticisms for if and when he actually does let us down to the fullest. I'm still hopeful that he won't. Okay, I'll just put it there. I'll just leave it there. So let's look at this clip of what he said on this idiotic podcast.
We need high-skilled workers in this country.
Yes.
We need to recruit the best and brightest from the world. Every time we get somebody super intelligent from India or Europe, any country, that's
three of us
one
are
less,
immigrants, sir.
Yeah, and 3 of the 4 here are immigrants, the ones without the ties.
We do not care.
And we can get these great people into our country, and that's a loss for our adversaries and our competitors, and it's a gain for us. But I've never heard you talk about this. Can you please promise us you will give us more ability to import the best and brightest around the world to America?
I do promise, but I happen to agree. That's why I promise. Otherwise, I wouldn't promise. Let me just tell you that it's so sad when we lose people from Harvard, MIT, from the greatest schools, and lesser schools that are phenomenal schools also. And what I wanted to do, and I would have done this, but then we had to solve the COVID problem because that came in and, you know, sort of dominated for a little while, as you perhaps know. But what I want to do and what I will do is you graduate from a college, I think you should get automatically as part of your diploma a green card to be able to stay in this country. And that includes junior colleges too. Anybody graduates from a college, you go in there for 2 years or 4 years. If you graduate or you get a doctorate degree from a college, you should be able to stay in this country.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And you know more stories than I do, but I know of stories where people graduated from a top college or from a college, and they desperately wanted to stay here. They had a plan for a company, a concept, and they can't. They go back to India, they go back to China, they do the same basic company in those places, and they become multi-billionaires employing thousands and thousands of people, and it could have been done here. And a bigger example is you need a pool of people to work for your companies. You have great companies, and they have to be smart people. Not everybody can be less than smart. You need brilliant people. And we force the brilliant people, the people that graduate from college, the people that are #1 in their class from the best colleges. You have to be able to recruit these people and keep the people. It was such a big deal. Somebody graduates at the top of the class. They can't even make a deal with the company because they don't think they're going to be able to stay in the country. That is going to end on.
What does that even mean? Like this? Oh my God! I'm boiling. Like I really this. I'm trying to remain calm because I cannot believe that he's saying this right now. I really cannot believe that he's saying this right now. They're basically saying that everyone who graduates at the top of their class in all the best universities and all over the country are foreigners. They're not from here. They're just coming to our institutions, using resources, and then going back to their countries and becoming billionaires. Give me a fucking break. Like, give me a break. First of all, why are we allowing that to happen if that is true? Okay, I don't believe that it is because I think it's stupid to even fathom that like every university that's, you know, top notch has a fucking Indian at the, you know, valedictorian that every class. I just don't believe that. But if it is true, it shouldn't be allowed. Why are we not pouring into the resources of this country, into the people of this country? It's infuriating. And this is not an America First position. And the fact that Donald Trump is saying this right now, it makes me want to punch my laptop screen right now. I swear to God. And I never really, like I said, this is probably the worst thing I think he's ever said to me personally. And I don't appreciate it at all. Okay. I don't. I'm not saying he can never come back from this, but I'm saying that, like, this was a big fuck up, okay? He needs to get inside of his rowboat and start, you know, walking this back immediately, because it's like, what are you even trying to say? I feel like a good answer from him to that question, which was an idiotic question to begin with. Who cares if you are all foreigners up there? 3 out of 4 of y'all are foreigners. I don't give a fuck. Go back to your countries. Like, go back to your countries. Why do people come to America? Because they have the opportunities here. So what makes you think that, like, all these people, all of y'all, people like them who have every opportunity now that they have billions and billions of dollars still remain in America? It's because if they go back to their shithole countries, they're not going to make as much money. So it's kind of an idiotic moot point to begin with, because if they graduate from Harvard and, you know, they have the opportunity to make a lot of money here in America, and if they move back to their shithole India or fucking some African country, they're not going to make half as much money as they could potentially make in America. Why would they leave? You know, I mean, it's idiotic to think. And it's like, if they're here in the country going to school, they can be going also through the immigration process. They can be applying for citizenship. They can be applying for green cards. We should never, ever be talking about automatically handing out green cards to anybody. And I want to show you guys what Matt Walsh said about this, because I feel like he made a good point too as well. But it's just very sad to me that, like, we're even at this place right now, because he used to be so strong on immigration, and it is so important that we remain strong on this point, because it is, I mean, pivotal. It is pivotal that we not allow ourselves as Americans to be overtaken by fucking Indians, okay? It's ridiculous. I don't care how smart they are. I don't care what kind of businesses they start. Can we focus on us? We have people who are graduating high school in this country that don't know how to fucking read. Okay, we have people in this country living in squalor, veterans under bridges. We have family units that are irrevocably broken because of welfare systems and high costs of living. It is abhorrent to think that we're talking about allowing foreigners from different nations to come in here, go to our Ivy League universities, and then talking about, you know, big tech executives and these CEOs of these companies fighting over those fucking retards, okay? It's ridiculous. When they would step over a bum in the middle of the street that's an American citizen and look down on their nose at them. It makes me sick. It really does. I mean, I swear to God, this man, Donald Trump, ooh, he better work some magic tomorrow. I mean, I need him to, like, go back to his old rhetoric, because I guess I'll let him finish those last 10 seconds.
Day one.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I think we all wholeheartedly agree with that.
You know what?
Being in the tech industry, we understand the importance.
Yeah, I bet you fucking do.
Counterpoints. Hell no. Absolutely not. This is not America first. This is not the agenda that Trump should be pursuing. It's not what the base wants. It's not what America needs, more importantly. Why would we do this? Why the hell would we do that? Now, this is not a new idea. That's one of the that's one of the many bad things about it, is that he is just regurgitating what we've heard from the Republican establishment and the left for many years. Staple the green card to the diploma, to the degree. We've heard that many times, and so he's repeating that. But let's think about this for a second, okay? We're saying that if a foreigner comes to this country and attends a left-wing brainwashing camp, we will reward him with an automatic green card. So we want more of these types in the country. This is the solution to our problem, to incentivize more foreigners to come here and be brainwashed. Why would we want that? You want more? It's bad enough to have Harvard at all at this point, but you want more foreigners in Harvard and then coming here? Why? How does America benefit from that? How do the American people benefit from that? The average American family, right? The average American family sitting around the kitchen table, okay? How is their life improved by having more foreigners come to America and be brainwashed by left-wing institutions? You know, if we actually believe that going to college is important, then the goal should be to get more American citizens into college. That should be the focus, not importing more people from other countries to put them through college. Now, you know that in my opinion, I don't think that it should be the goal to get more people in college, citizens or foreigners, because the university system is a disaster. It's totally broken. Most of the people who go into the university system come out the other end dumber, certainly dumber, but even worse, you know, more beholden to and indoctrinated into left-wing ideas. And those, you know, that and being dumber kind of go hand in hand. They're not. Most of these people that go to colleges, they're not learning skills. Like they're not coming out with any skills whatsoever. So I don't think that there's any reason to be encouraging more people, citizens or not, to go to college. But if it is your view that college is a positive thing, we want to get more kids in college, then the America First position is, let's figure out ways to get more of our kids into college, not kids from other countries. So this is the fact that we're hearing ideas like this, to me, it's to put it mildly, it's very, very concerning.
So, and I mean, you can just see it all over his face. You can probably hear it in my voice. It's like, it's demoralizing. It's just a blow to the fucking nuts, okay? The hypothetical nuts that I don't have. It is just a punch to the gut at this point when we're so close to the election. And Matt Walsh is not even really like a Trump supporter. He was kind of on the DeSantis train during the primary season, and he really wasn't all that gung-ho about Trump for a second term. Whereas I have been from the very jump, even more so. I feel like my support for Trump has only grown in recent years, and since, you know, his presidency and after the 2020 election and all that. But it's like, this was such a huge setback, and it's like, even if he is playing some 5D chess move, and like that'll all play itself out in time, and he has really proposed some very excellent policies that I am in full support of recently. Like, he proposed doing away with the Department of Education, you know, like no taxes on restaurant tips. I'm very supportive over that. He's even proposed doing away with income tax, which if he did that, I mean, my God, I would literally, like, he would be the most epic figure ever, in my opinion, in my view, because income tax, if you don't know, is theft, okay? It is actual theft by the government, and it's illegal. It's an illegal tax that they have been imposing on us for the past century. So any president that actually, you know, achieves doing away with that would be my actual American Idol. But I don't know. I'm not holding my breath for that one. But the fact that he's even floating it, I think, is very epic and base, because we haven't heard that type of rhetoric since Ron Paul, to be frank. So anybody that floats that idea and pushes that agenda forward, you know, is definitely okay in my book. But all of that doesn't get negated by what he said here, which is what's so devastating to his position, is that, like, this was the one thing that I feel like he could have just not, you know, compromised at all for his rhetoric. Because even if you are bending a little bit here and there to try to, like, pull in new people, this is one piece of that rhetoric, I feel like, for a lot of people, that it's not going to go over well. So I don't know how it's all going to play out, but like I said, he needs to come out very strong on this issue during this upcoming debate, and I'll probably end up doing a live stream or something during it, but, like, I'm very curious and anxious to see what he's going to say, because he needs to walk back this position and, I mean, just really, like, kind of do a 180 on it, in my opinion, and fuck what anybody thinks about that, because it's like, where do you actually stand? Where is the future of this country going to land when it comes to immigration? Because if it's not very strong in the direction of correcting the massive fuck up that has been happening over the last several decades, then it's probably too late for anything else. So I really hope that, like, this is just a game of him saying what he needs to say to who he needs to say it to in front of whatever audience he needs to say it. Then whenever he gets into office, it's back to business. Because if that's not the game that he's playing, it's so over. It's so fucking over. But let's see what he was saying just a few months ago.
Donald Trump now pledging a sweeping immigration crackdown if he wins the White House again. Among his promises, mass deportations, ending birthright citizenship, and denying entry to legal immigrants based on their ideological beliefs.
Good.
He has promised to oversee a complete overhaul in U.S. immigration and border policy if he is elected in 2024. The president, the former president that is, has promised mass deportations, the largest deportation operation in U.S. history, more specifically, and he has promised to do that by invoking a law from 1798 to deport gang members and by enlisting the National Guard, Bob, to arrest migrants. He has also promised to enact new screenings for legal immigrants to deny entry to those who have certain political beliefs, such as Marxist, as the former president would call them. And he has promised to deny U.S. citizenship to the children of undocumented immigrants, those who are living here in the country unlawfully. His rhetoric on immigration, Bob, has also escalated and intensified. He recently said that some migrants here are poisoning the blood of the country. And so the former president, believes that this is certainly a winning issue for him. But I do have to underscore, Bob, that many of these proposals, such as ending birthright citizenship through executive action, will certainly face formidable legal and operational challenges.
Will it, though? Back to you, Bob. Will it, though? I don't know. Will it? Because are they supposed to be here? I mean, and they're supposedly like all the support for like the dreamers and shit. Send them back. I say send them back. All you dreamers can kick rocks, okay? You can dream on in another country, okay? Because it's just not happening here. But that's just me. I have a very strong opinion on immigration, and I think that if you didn't come here legally through the process, then you really need to go. You really do. And I hate that for you. I hate that for you, but I'm sorry. You know, those are the rules. I mean, there was like, I saw an article the other day about a man who had taken his case all the way up to the Supreme Court because he was fighting deportation because I believe, if I remember correctly, he was like arrested and then was going to be extradited, or he was going to be deported. And it literally took 20 fucking years. Okay, for him to reach the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ended up actually ruling against him, which was epic and base and the correct thing. But it's like, okay, so after 20 years, what good is it? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why is it taking 20 years to deport some of these people? Because they take their cases up through the legal system with the help of activist lawyers. It's a joke. It's a joke. So we already have enough of that going on. We don't need it in the millions and millions and millions of people. And I'm sorry, sweeping amnesty is not the answer, because we have a fucked up problem that they've created that now is too big to handle. It's either like sweeping amnesty or mass deportations. And I'm sorry, I'm most definitely on the side of mass deportations. I don't care how inhumane it is. I don't care that it's harder to do than just giving people amnesty. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You know, because in the end of the day, we have to look at the bigger picture of what it is that we want our country to look like in the future. And Donald Trump had a vision of this at one point, and he had a very strong message at one point. And this is just all I want to go back to.
180,000 illegal immigrants with criminal records ordered deported from our country are tonight roaming free to threaten peaceful citizens. The number of new illegal immigrant families who have crossed the border so far this year already exceeds the entire total from 2015. They are being released by the tens of thousands into our communities with no regard for the impact on public safety or resources. One such border crosser was released and made his way to Nebraska. There, he ended the life of an innocent young girl named Sarah Root. She was 21 years old and was killed the day after graduating from college with a 4.0 grade point average, #1 in her class.
Oh, wow.
Her killer...
You mean not an Indian? You mean there was an American girl who was actually number one in her class. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, what is happening? What is happening? This used to be the message. And I feel like this is more true to Donald Trump's actual position as well as the position of so many others in this country than to say that, like, oh, we can't let these Indians who are all number one in their class, go back to India to start the next Amazon. We got to keep them here. It's like, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why are we not pushing and promoting our own people? Why are we not elevating young Americans into those positions? Why are we not shaping their minds? Why are we not giving them grants? Why are we not putting money into them? It's a travesty.
Was then released a second time, and he is now a fugitive from the law. I've met Sarah's beautiful family, but to this administration, their amazing daughter was just one more American life that wasn't worth protecting. No more.
No more.
One more child to sacrifice on the order and on the altar of open borders. You know, when they let, I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country, when they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, but all over the world. They're coming into our country from Africa, from Asia, all over the world. They're pouring into our country. Nobody's even looking at them. They just come in.
All you have to do is go to Fusion and pick up the stories on rape. And it's unbelievable when you look at what's going on. So all I'm doing is telling the truth.
I read the Washington Post, I read the Fusion, I read the Huffington Post, and that's about women being raped. It's not about criminals coming across the border or entering the country.
Well, somebody's doing the raping, Don. I mean, somebody's doing the, you're saying it's women being raped. Well, who's doing the raping?
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
So I'm sorry if I just want that old thing back. And for him to turn on that now and to try to say that, the best and brightest in this country are fucking Indians and Chinese who are graduating at the top of their class at our elite universities. If you don't find that to be problematic, then I don't really know what to say. Because if that's the viewpoint, then it's like, we're doomed. We are doomed, no matter what happens. It's just, in a way, too depressing. But like I said, I'm still holding out hope that what Donald Trump is doing is just kind of saying whatever it is he needs to say in order to, get over the finish line and get reelected. Because that's about the only acceptable answer as to why he would say something like this. So one of the most recent gaslighting techniques, these most recent videos of Biden coming out, and there's one, it seems like every other day, where he can't speak, he can't move, he can't not shit his pants or get lost in a small area. Things like this is not, don't believe your eyes, okay? Something like this right here, and not real at all.
Now I could go old school and say, clap your hands, everybody. And everybody, clap your hands to the people on this side. Clap your hands to the people right here. Clap your hands to the people up top. Clap your hands.
Hello?
Watch this.
Hello?
The Honorable Lloyd J.
seem to have an issue with sitting down in a chair.
The Honorable
Oh, look at the French president and his husband.
Lloyd J. Austin III, Secretary of Defense of the United States of America.
Now, there are two things going on here. First of all, for most people, it shouldn't take this long to figure out how to sit in a chair. It just looks incredibly awkward. Second, if you look at alternative footage of the event, you can see that everyone is supposed to stay standing, including the audience, until after the next speaker was announced. But Biden started ahead of everyone.
Secretary of Defense of the United States of America.
And again, it didn't help that he was fumbling and bending over so slowly. This is why poll after poll find that Americans think that Joe Biden is too old to serve a second term.
Oh,
then,
God.
3 days later in Italy, Joe Biden was watching a skydiving presentation along with several leaders from the G7. But then suddenly, Joe Biden starts wandering away from the rest of the group towards one of the skydivers, which led the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni to grab Biden's arm and lead him back to the group.
Wow,
I'm sorry,
impressive.
but a G7 leader needing to run after Joe Biden like he's a toddler? This is not normal. Then, days later, at the end of a glitzy fundraiser in LA, Joe Biden, along with Barack Obama, are waving to the audience. But then, inexplicably,
why does he stand like this?
Biden stops moving, and Obama grabs his arm to start leading him off the stage.
Bruh.
Come on, clap your hands, all you people. Tell them to God with a voice of triumph. The power of the Lord is here.
Girl.
Next, there was this video from the White House Juneteenth celebration where Joe Biden looks like he's freezing up.
Look at his hands. Look at his fucking hands. Girl, hello?
I mean, just because you're standing up listening to music and not dancing, that is not a health issue. If you look at the people who are around him, you look at the expanded video of the people who were around him, they were not. There were some folks who were not dancing either, and that has been fact checked.
Oh look, the expanded video shows that everyone is dancing.
Look at this
with
band of fucking retards and losers. Okay, my goodness, this is the Juneteenth elite of this country. Apparently, these are the reparations people. Are you all willing to pay up to these folks?
So instead of being a commanding figure at his own White House event, no less, Joe Biden looks like he accidentally wandered into a black barbecue and is afraid to leave because he doesn't want to look like he's a racist.
Come on, I gotta see you.
Look at his hands! He's got those little oven mitts. What are you doing, sir? Okay, this must be an old white man thing, because look at Kamala's husband's hands. At least he's doing a little sway, a little 1-2, 1-2, boom boom cat sway. But like Joe Biden looks like an actual fucking statue. Okay, I don't know what needs to be done about his hands, but it's got to be something, because this ain't it. This is not it. I mean, it's just so. It is just. It's a disaster.
It's Juneteenth, y'all.
The leader of the free world, America.
Today's a new day. I need to see your party. But where are my blue skies? I need to see
Kamala.
But these awkward moments were overshadowed by a slurring, divisive speech by the resident-in-chief himself.
But let's be clear. They're all ghosts. New garments trying to take us back.
Okay, what?
Well, there are. Taking away your freedoms, making it harder for black people to vote.
What?
Or have your vote counted.
Sure, let's celebrate Juneteenth by telling black people that they're victims and that Republicans are trying to keep people of color from voting.
She knows so long as she was denied, our freedom can never be secured.
Say what you want about Donald Trump, but at least he can say words clearly, unlike Joe Biden.
Last month, I awarded Meg Rivers the Presidential Medal of Freedom, our nation's highest civilian honor, posthumously. Posthumously.
Posthumously.
Posthumously.
I'm proud to finally award our highest military recognition, the Medal of Honor, to each of you, one posthumously. At the start of this new year, I signed the posthumously awarding them who will be receiving this medal posthumously.
I posthumously awarded Meg Rivers the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
We're promoting her posthumously to sergeant. Are being awarded the medals posthumously. Last month, I awarded Steve Jobs Presidential Medal of Freedom posthumously.
What?
That's what someone we still miss so much, who you honored posthumously stood for. Going Eiffel. You know, look, folks, the situation is simple. You know, when we passed the Second Amendment, guess what? You weren't allowed to have a cannon. No, I'm serious, not a joke. It's just kind of amazing. They think that you could have anything. That never was the case.
What?
There have always been limitations on what you could purchase.
And despite having been repeatedly fact-checked and being told that it's a lie, Joe Biden insists on telling it anyway. Because truth over facts, right, Democrats?
Who in God's name needs a magazine which can hold 200 shells? Nobody, that's right.
So for the record, a magazine for a firearm that holds 200 shells is not real.
Yeah.
It's a thing that only exists in Joe Biden's addled brain.
It's called a round.
Think about it. How many times have you heard this phrase? The blood of liberty.
What?
Squash of dough. Give me a break. No, I mean it, seriously.
Who is
First
laughing?
of all, it's not a phrase. It's a Thomas Jefferson quote that A, Joe Biden couldn't even bother to say in its entirety, and B, he mangled it anyway because he's Joe Biden. It's not the blood of liberty. It's the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants.
And by the way, if they want to think to take on government if we get out of line, which they're talking again about, well, guess what? They need F-15s. They don't need a rifle.
Mark Oliva from the National Shooting Sports Foundation put it best when he wrote the following. This talk of an American president openly suggesting that he would use actual instruments of war against citizens of the United States is beyond callous. It is dangerous and must be rebuked. The president is beholden to the people. He serves the people. The threat of war on them by the federal government is the very reason the Second Amendment exists. And throughout his residency, Joe Biden has made this disgusting remark several times. Here's a flashback.
Well, guess what, man? I didn't see a whole lot of patriots that are out there walking around making sure that we have these weapons. Well, and if you really want to worry about the government, you need an F-16. You don't need a AR-15. No, I'm not.
Who the fuck is laughing?
I'm not joking. Because
do people not get it? He is threatening you people. He is threatening American citizens with F-15s. He has said this 3 times at least that I can pinpoint directly. Okay, probably more, honestly. I mean, that any American president or politician would say this, it should be immediate grounds for forcibly being removed from their office if they don't want to step down and resign. And it should be, an offense so egregious that he should resign and be forced to resign in shame. Because how dare you? And people are so ignorant and idiotic that they would fucking laugh at this notion. People are so conditioned and so brainwashed to think that it's the government's job to protect us. And somebody made this point, I forget where it was made, but it's like people seem to forget that America was founded on Christian principles and the fact that our rights, the rights that are in the Constitution, were not given to us by the government, okay? No, they were given to us by God, endowed upon us by our Creator, okay? That's where the rights are derived from. So whenever you do away with God, whenever you do away with religion and Christianity, you're getting rid of the fundamental rights that we have established this country on. And I don't think people realize the magnitude of that. And so all of these people who are up in arms about the 10 Commandments being put into schools when it's okay to have a fucking pride flag hanging up in a classroom in front of a bunch of 8-year-olds. They would rather that than have the words of God, or not even the words of God, but like just the commandments that were given to Moses by God. That is a bridge too far. But let your gay freak flag fly in the classroom. It's disgusting. And people don't realize that by banishing God, doing away with Christianity and religion, you are fundamentally stripping this country and our rights as citizens that are so cherished and so coveted the world over. That I know, once it is ever finally gone, you will only have yourselves to blame, okay, for letting it slip. But girl, oh my God, that is the most disturbing fucking thing I've seen in a long time. That smile. Wait, let's watch one more time.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Oh, he looks like the statue. That's what he looks like. A melting pile of dog doo-doo, okay? That's exactly what he looks like right there. What do you guys think about all this? I didn't want to end it on like this angry, black pill moment, but, alas, whenever I hear this old, decrepit dementia patient threaten me once again with fighter planes that are used in war, okay, it grinds my gears a little bit. But what do you guys think? What are y'all gonna do about this election coming up? Are you guys black pilled? Are you white pilled? Are you what pill are you taking? Hopefully it's not a pharmaceutical pill. But I digress. Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Please like the video if you like it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more like this. Until next time, y'all take it easy out there. Go buy a cannon or something, because it's your God-given right. And I will see y'all later. Bye.
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.